WWE's talent roster has never been as stacked with excellent wrestlers as it is today. From pay-per-view main eventers to new NXT signings who haven't even debuted yet, truly world-class performers can be found at every single level. Sure, star power levels are way down from WWE's peak years, but this is a reflection of the company's booking methods, not the wrestlers, as the likes of AJ Styles genuinely stand among the best in the world. So why is it that the company still struggle to deliver consistently excellent weekly TV shows, feuds, and 5-star matches? Their roster is an incredible asset, but one that WWE rarely use efficiently. In many ways, the company have fostered an environment that actively harms their talent pool when they should be enhancing it, and this hurts everyone, not just the wrestlers. I'm Andy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 ways WWE are destroying their own roster. Number 10. Overexposure. Say what you will about Brock Lesnar's part-time title reign, but the Beast is the only WWE wrestler who still carries a genuine aura, and it's because he isn't around every single week. Everything Lesnar does feels significant and special, and this is something we can't honestly say for anyone else in the company, bar perhaps John Cena. Even the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura and Bray Wyatt, popular as they are, have had their mystique stripped away through main roster overexposure. This is a direct consequence of WWE's episodic weekly TV format. Wrestlers are on screen almost every single week, so of course they don't feel special anymore. Granted, we're not saying everyone should be on the Lesnar schedule, that would be ridiculous, but WWE definitely need to do more to prevent burnout. Number 9. Endless singles matches. While the horrific Katsuyori Shibata situation means Japanese wrestling can never be held up as a bastion of safety, WWE could learn much from the way New Japan Pro Wrestling book their shows with regards to protecting their stars' health. The average NJPW show comprises largely of multi-man tags, allowing guys like Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, and Hiroshi Tanahashi to spend large periods of time outside the ring, preserving their bodies for big singles matches. Now, admittedly, these tags aren't as exciting as blockbuster one-on-ones, but that's a secondary concern. What's most important is protecting the workers, and given that most WWE shows feature a multitude of singles bouts, it's no wonder their injury crisis runs so deep. In singles matches, performers are in the ring for longer, thus increasing their chances of getting hurt. Simple, but WWE persist regardless. Number 8. Failing to capitalize on hot stars. Rusev Day is SmackDown's most popular and meme-worthy act at the moment. The Bulgarian Brute and Aiden English are hotter than ever, and their chants dominate every show. But what are they doing? Farting around on the mid-card. This isn't the first time WWE have failed to capitalize on a surge in popularity, but it's maddening nonetheless. People love these guys and they want to root for them at the top of the card. Instead of actively antagonizing the audience by keeping these guys stranded on the mid-card, why not reward their good work and, maybe make a little money from them? Rusev should be a main eventer at the moment, but he's not, and that's entirely on WWE. Not only are they failing to make the most of a popular asset, but they're preventing him from reaching his full potential, and there's no defense for that. Number 7. Stifling creativity. WWE is the most regimented wrestling promotion in the world. A handful of top stars have a sliver of creative control, but for the most part, the company control every aspect of their wrestlers' performances, stifling their creativity and forcing them into roles they just don't want to play. The consequences of this are entirely destructive. Cody Rhodes asked for his release after growing sick of his Stardust persona and has since become a major star on the indies. Similarly, in keeping Neville stranded in the lowly cruiserweight division, WWE have destroyed his passion for working there, leading to his October walkout. WWE are effectively creating an army of creatively stifled wrestlers who could be so much more, and will be when they're eventually released, bringing great benefits to whichever competitor they land with, as we've already seen with Cody. Number 6. Brands, not characters. WWE characters have never been as shallow as they are today. Think about it. What is Seth Rollins other than a vague series of Kingslayer and Burn It Down motifs? Roman Reigns calls himself the guy, but what's his personality? What do we really know about him? Or how about Bobby Roode? Sure, he's popular, but what defines him beyond a sparkly robe and banging entrance music? These aren't fully formed characters. They exist primarily to spit catchphrases and sell t-shirts, and while this doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, there's no depth to them anymore. One of the reasons NXT inspires such devotion in its characters is because their wrestlers are presented as believable, three-dimensional human beings. We can relate to them, but but that's impossible with these main roster robots. Number 5. HOKUM and HOGWASH. Vince McMahon has always had a fondness for the supernatural, but while The Undertaker's ministry antics were palatable in the Attitude Era's bold, colourful landscape, wrestling has evolved far beyond that. This is supposed to be the reality era. The internet and social media have pulled the veil back further than ever before, and suspension of disbelief is now incredibly difficult. The zany, over-the-top supernatural characters of old look laughable through this lens, and when Bray Wyatt projects bugs onto the ring or summons ghostly apparitions into the arena, it's impossible to take the goof seriously. Such antics would have probably gotten Wyatt over in the 90s, but now he looks like a cartoon character. WWE have buried him between a mountain of hogwash, and we'll likely see the same with woken Matt Hardy whenever his character grows beyond that laugh. Number 4. Scripted promos. WWE's insistence on controlling everything about their wrestlers' performance manifests in a number of ways, but none are more harmful than scripted promos. Great promos are dying. Guys like The Miz and Paul Heyman still shine, but they are exceptions to the rule. For the most part, WWE superstars sound like bland, unconvincing robots as they spit endless streams of catchphrases and countless sentences that regular human beings just wouldn't say. Why? Because their words are not their own. Would AJ Styles refer to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as Cammy, or make fat jokes if he spoke from the heart? Would Roman Reigns talk about snivelling little sellouts full of suffering succotash, son? Of course he wouldn't. It's impossible to sound convincing when every line is meticulously scripted by someone else, and even elite talkers are hampered. Number 3. Burying popular stars. Not capitalising on a wrestler's surge in popularity is one thing, and if you want to be charitable, you can at least write this off as negligence. But deliberately burying fan favourites? That's an entirely different thing. When WWE omitted Daniel Bryan from the 2014 Royal Rumble, had Alexa Bliss assassinate Bayley's character, and let Kane push a wheelchair-bound Zack Ryder off the stage, it felt like it was done out of spite. How dare these wrestlers get over without my say-so, Vince McMahon said as he concocted their downfalls. Bryan recovered, but each of the aforementioned stars was deliberately cooled off. And to what end? Where is the sense in deliberately sabotaging a potential asset like this? Number 2. The past screwing the present. Triple H and his gang of goons burying the revival was a joke. Make no mistake, this was a burial of the highest order, with one of the world's greatest tag teams slaughtered in the name of nostalgia. But it's just one beatdown, you might say. Well, cool. How did that one beatdown work out for the Ascension? From The Rock beating CM Punk at the 2013 Royal Rumble to Goldberg smashing Kevin Owens in 2017, it inevitably damages a full-time performer, but shows no signs of going away. It's frustrating, because while the old fellas shuffle back to semi-retirement, the full-timers are left to pick up what remains of their dented momentum and move on. Number 1. The brutal touring schedule. WWE's inactive list reads like a novella, with well over a dozen wrestlers currently injured, and while we can attribute a number of these to freak accidents, this argument cannot be applied to so many examples. This is a deeply rooted problem, and WWE's brutal road schedule is one of the main culprits. Wrestlers are expected to work 4 to 6 times a week between lengthy road trips, with little recovery time in between. That's a lot, but after presenting a record 384 main roster shows in 2017, it's clear WWE aren't slowing down. The company's in-ring style might be the safest around, but the schedule supersedes all of this. They're running the roster into the ground at the moment, and while injuries will never be stamped out entirely, easing the strain would go a long way to alleviating the problem.
Gosh, can you believe that person said that about that particular video on that entry? I sure can't. But you should like, share and subscribe below anyway. And also, the people who made this video, they're right here. Go follow them and give them some love. Also, there's more content, probably above my head. Check it out. Or don't. 50-50.